Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the fourth grade concept of input-output tables. This is standard 4.5b in the great state of Texas. We are using item number 32 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so it seems like it's a pretty straightforward problem here. We have a rule given to us, plus 7, and we need to find the output for the given input number. So we need to find the table that best represents this, and so we can already take a look and see that this is additive, right? Because we are adding 7 to each input, and take a look at my inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is their position 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need to find the correct output. Well, rather than just looking at the four answer choices, let's see if we can come up with our own table. And then we can match, and then we can see what some of the errors might be. So my inputs are going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, since those are the only options I have. And then let's just do our own input-output table. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow our rule. It's an additive rule. We're going to add 7. So we're going to take each of our inputs. We're going to add 7. So I'm just going to write a little plus 7. And then we are going to get our outputs. Now, hopefully you're noticing a pattern. Take a look at our inputs. Our inputs are increasing by 1. So once we get our output, right, the output is going to be plus 7. So that's going to be 1 plus 7 equals 8. And that's 9. But notice our outputs also go up by 1, right? So you get a pattern like that with your inputs and outputs if you're using an additive rule. So it looks like we've got a rule table here that we need. Plus 7 gives us an 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so let's look at each of our answer choices here. So we've got 7, 14, 21, 28. So hopefully what you're seeing here is we are doing a plus 7, but look, this is a sneaky plus 7. 7 plus 7 makes 14. 14 plus 7 makes 21. 21 plus 7 makes 28. I bet you a lot of students probably chose this because you are adding 7, but you're adding 7 from the output to the output. Take a look at what it tells us we need to do. We need to use the rule of plus 7 to find the output for a given input. So what that means we need to do is we need to start with our input and we need to go side to side. We always need to look if the input and output are side to side, then our rule goes side to side. Every once in a while you'll get a table that looks like this, and they'll do it vertically like this, right? They have the input and the output. Well, if the input and output goes up and down, then your rule needs to go up and down. But in this case, we can't have a rule that goes up and down and an input-output that goes side to side. So that's a tricky one. I can see where students might get that wrong, right? So this also follows a pattern B. Look, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, which kind of matches what we're doing on the input side. But how do we get from 1 to 7? And that just uses the wrong rule. That's plus 6. So that's just a basic addition problem. That's not going to work. Now, we see C. That obviously matches with what we're doing here. Right, so we can go ahead and mark that as our answer. But let's take a look at what the issue was with D. All right, so it looks like we are adding 8 here, because really we're not even adding 8, adding 8, adding 8. And if you want to look side to side, you're actually multiplying by 8, right? Which is what you're doing here as well. You're multiplying by 7. So you're using a multiplicative pattern, in this case 8. To get the plus 8s down the output, using a multiplicative pattern to get a plus 7s down the output. So that's not going to work either. 8 doesn't show up in anywhere we need. So our answer is C.